These days, kids are integrating technology into their lives at a younger and younger age, which means parents have to adapt as well. Do you monitor all of their activities on their computers, on their smartphones, or is hands-off the way to go? It is a very difficult area to navigate. So Julie Freedman Smith from Parenting Power is here to help us through it. As always, we look to you. Is this making parenting more difficult, or is this just another variable that's thrown into it?
Both. And I think the reason it's more difficult is because we have not got the scripts in our heads. We have our parenting scripts for putting on coats and shoes and dinner table and bedtime, but we were never parented through this kind of technology.
Right.
And so we just don't necessarily know what to say, so we have to make up our own rules as we go along.
Well, and we might not be very good at disciplining ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, I
Exactly.
don't think that I could just speak from my own experience. I don't think I'm modeling very good behavior when it comes to usage of technology.
So that's a big part of it, is being intentional about it. We're not saying throw out the technology. It's here. It's part of our lives, and it's a valuable part of our lives. But how do we do it? How do we approach it as a family? And every family is going to be a little bit different in that decision.
Do you have any sort of guidelines you recommend? I mean, yes, it is, but there's a point where it gets addictive, dangerous, potentially.
That's right. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about a movie called Men, Women, and Children that's just coming out, because it really does explore. It's not a documentary, and it's not a family movie. It's R-rated.
Okay,
Let's watch the clip here.
Okay, yeah, so we're taking a look at some video from it now.
It's showing how technology really impacts our families. The children, the spouses, the adult interactions. It talks about anorexia. It talks about pornography, Facebook, Twitter, and whether parents should be really involved in their kids' lives or stay out or somewhere in between. And it's the somewhere in between that we really want to focus on.
Okay, we've got a clip from the movie. Let's take a look at that.
There's a new pressure on kids growing up right now that everything has to be public, that selfies have to look gorgeous, that everything has to be put out there right away as it's happening moment to moment, and that they're going to compare themselves to what they see other teens doing. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying as a parent to look at it and think, how will we navigate this?
Okay, so this is so multifaceted because,
Yes.
you know, I sort of think about it at a young age. My daughter's 5, so I think about the screen time, how it affects her mind, how it affects her health, and then you move on, and as they get older, how sort of the feedback on social media affects them.
That's right. Jennifer Garner plays a character who is heavy duty into supervising her child's technology use. She basically gives up her own life in order to protect her child from technology. And some of the outcomes of that we can imagine. It's a movie, it's not a documentary, it's not real life.
Right.
But there's some really interesting questions that come out of it for us as parents. How involved do we want to get? Are we doing it for our kids? Are we talking about it with our kids? And you know, Gail and I are always about talking about it with our kids instead of taking over for them, because when we take over for them, the results are not often very good.
Where do you stand in terms of supervision? What level of supervision?
I believe that what's online is not private.
Okay.
And so we're fooling ourselves if we're just going to tell our kids we trust them and we won't look because we want them to have their privacy. It's not private. Other people can see it. Other people can share it. And so instead of ignoring the whole thing, I'm about watching what my kids are doing, not every moment of every day, talking to them about it, making them aware that I will be checking. And this is really the philosophy that Gail and I follow. It's about building trust by talking with our kids instead of telling our kids we trust them and then checking it behind their back.
Right, and it seems like that sort of gradual and that trust that you build up over time is going to work a lot better than sort of flipping out and then all of a sudden digging through your kids' stuff.
And that's how it relates to everyday parenting, because that's the same thing with everything. Drugs, alcohol, who your kids are dating. You can't be following your kids around once they get to a certain age. So we have to put the groundwork in when they're the age of your child, and then begin to ease off a little bit and watch. And they're going to stumble and fall, and you pick them up and you go along.
Okay, if you're interested in that film, it's apparently out on Blu-ray now.
It is. We're giving away 2 copies on our Facebook page, actually, right now.
Okay, so we'll make sure we put links on our website at breakfasttelevision.ca. It's called Men, Women, Children. Look for it. And parentingpower.ca. Go there. You need it. Trust me. Or at least I do. Julie Freedman Smith, thank you so much. And Jill.